Hi everyone, good evening, Merry Christmas. Yep, finally back in base. I'm sure some of you have been following my Facebook also, or Kong Yu's Facebook. Even last night also you can see that, okay, Kong Yu has already started or tested, okay, back Facebook Live using the OBS system. All right, so tonight itself, okay, the topic for tonight's Facebook Live will be Feng Shui remedy. I'm trying to like control my volume a bit because today we are using this like a new mic that I've been using whenever we are traveling. So apparently this mic itself, the receptivity of the, how to say, my sound, okay, of my voice itself, right, okay, it is stronger. So those of you, in case if you are using an earpiece itself, right, okay, probably if can tonight, okay, don't use your earpiece because at the end, okay, of tonight's session itself, I might be showing you, okay, because many of you asked me, it's like, Jessie, I remember there was one specific episode that talked about spring cleaning. You talk about this Ting Sha thing. What is it, okay? Or what exactly is the name, okay? Do you have a photo of it? Yeah, okay, so at the end of this session, I see how the time goes, okay? If I have time, then probably I will share with you what exactly is the Ting Sha that I've been talking about. But too bad, it is all sold out, okay? I don't have any more Ting Shas. Hi, Peggy, okay, Melvi Gadas, hello, okay? Melvi is like, whatever the timing also, you will see that she will pop up supporting all Facebook Live, even in the middle of the night, okay? Adriano, Alex, hello, thank you, okay? And then Patricia, Nelly Choi, okay? First of all, I assume that the sound is okay. Okay, make sure that you can also see the background as well, because today's session itself is all about the one. For me personally, okay, I see this as a very powerful and practical Feng Shui remedy, okay, which is the saltwater cure. And you know that I've been practicing. Me personally have been using this saltwater cure for many years, okay, and so far so good, blessed, okay, that, I mean, the results for me personally, I find that it actually, in a way, delivers its result. But then don't get me wrong, those of you who are just following, hi, Shirley Cheung, okay? Right, thank you so much. Welcome home. Hi, neighbor, okay, Mr. Lim, all right? Looking forward to see you as well. Okay, Jen Ho, okay, yearly ritual, saltwater cure, yeah, okay, I know Jen Ho has been following for some time as well. Heart Sesha, hi, Serene, okay, you must be very, very busy, okay, working on your New Year cookies and all that. Just in case, okay, those of you, if you're in Singapore, especially if you want to actually try out, okay, something different for your Chinese New Year, please check out Heart's creation, okay? You can actually comment under Heart Shashat there, okay? She make very, very good sambago. Sorry, okay? When it comes to food, I cannot resist. I saw Jessie just now, also, Jessie Tan also saying hi, okay? And then, yeah, Adriano watching from Australia. It's not early now in Australia, okay? Thank you for tuning in. Jessie Fu, John Vega, Vivian Chong, okay? Brenda, all right, thank you for tuning in. Chuan Mei Lao. You know, every time I want to say hi and respond to your hello, okay? But you know, I have a lot of things to share here as well, right? Okay, Alitia, okay, Mary Chong, okay, Chong Hun Chong, okay, all right, thank you so much, okay, or for Hai Chang Feng, okay, our gems and all, okay, thank you so much, all right. So first of all, before I start, okay, the same rituals, if possible, I would really, really appreciate it, okay, if you can help me to share this session out on your Facebook so that every information that I share can reach out to more people. And other than that, I would also want to know, any of you here are first-timers listening to Saltwater Cure. I know Jen Ho, Melvi Gadas, of course, Serious Bride, okay, Serene, okay, Heart Seshat and all that. It's not a first time for you, okay? Many of you has been, in a way, supportingly, okay, I wouldn't say loyally, okay, I mean, yeah, forget about loyalty, okay? But somehow, all of you has been really, really supporting me, following me all these years itself. I'm sure you have heard about it, all right? But today, of course, I'm going to explain more into it. If you have any questions, you can ask. But I need to check. Oh, Corazon, okay? You're watching from Germany. If I'm not mistaken, is it this Corazon that actually shared? Okay, Corazon, are you the one who shared your photo? I think we missed out because all the photos that you shared, we actually put out on today's sharing as well, okay? But Corazon, if I'm not mistaken, I think you shared, okay, your saltwater cure as well, okay? Right, thank you for sharing that as well. Hi, Pocheng, okay, Teresa Go. As I mentioned, okay, for those of you who are first-timers, please do let me know, all right? Today's session itself, I'm going to go through, okay, the whole meaning about saltwater cure. So those of you who are, I would say, seniors, okay, you would have know, okay, all this information. Jen Ho, okay, Melvi, right, or a Serious Bride, Hasashat, okay, you would have probably Jenny, Poching as well, okay, you would have know all this information. by heart, okay, hopefully. So if you see any questions, okay, in the comments later, for first timers, okay, who have not heard about this, maybe you can also help me and the team, which is Kong Yu, okay, here, to answer those questions as well, all right? So of course, okay, tonight's session is all about the saltwater cure, because a lot of people, I know, a lot of people private message my team, okay, been asking me, okay, every time during this moment of the year itself, people has been asking what exactly is saltwater cure. I mean, I know many of you has been really following it. Yeah, Corazon is you, right? Okay, it's very nice. It forms very beautifully. Okay, good job. All right. So it's like Carlos James Sawadi. Okay, so I assume that you are tuning in from Bangkok. Okay, so Brenda Lu said my saltwater cure suddenly broke and leaked in November. Okay, can't share any pics. It's okay. Okay, Brenda, I'm sure that all this happens for a reason as well. Okay, so anything that happens, okay, to the saltwater cure, in a way, give gratitude to it, dispose of it, okay, because somehow it has actually cleared the energy, cleared the chi, and somehow in a way, keep us safe, okay, for the year itself. All right, so Yvonne Lee, Linda Wong, okay, so those of you first-timers, any first-timers here, because I have to go through, okay, into explaining thoroughly about the saltwater cure. How does this work? Now, first of all, why salt? Okay, but before that, please do help me to share this session out so that it can actually reach out to more people. All right, so let's talk about salt first, okay, before we proceed any further. Okay, so now why salt? Okay, like out of like so many things, okay, to use as a Feng Shui remedy, okay, why salt? Okay, why do we need to, in a way, create a saltwater cure? Okay, of course, one of the reasons is because salt is really affordable. Okay, it is cheap, okay, it is affordable. And then Joe Chan says, Sifu, please explain in what situation do we use saltwater cure? Yes, okay, I will explain all these things. We have Neri here, also first timer from Philippines, all right? So Carol Hall, okay, also first timer. Lawrence Ng here is also first timer, okay? So I'm going to explain in thorough why saltwater cure. Firstly, we need to understand first, because I also want my students, all of you here, okay, to understand what you're doing, because I've never in a way tried to advocate or want any of my followers, okay, or students itself to do something that they do not even understand why, okay, so that at least, right, okay, 無端端, they call it, it's like suddenly you set up a saltwater cure in your house this year itself, okay, and when your relatives visits during Chinese New Year, they'll be very surprised, okay, and to ask and curious to ask, as in like, what is this thing here, okay, why just such a big vase or jar of salt water in your house, okay? So we need to understand why, because the purpose of us doing all these things is to reach out to more people, to guide more people, to make people understand more about how Feng Shui really works, okay? So therefore, it is important for me to actually go through everything again and for you to know exactly what you're doing rather than blindly follow. Oh, Jessie say, apparently she's, okay lah, quite famous lah, okay? People follow her. She got Facebook Live every now and then, okay? She talks things, okay, it makes sense a bit. So whatever she say, I follow. I do not want followers to be like that. I would prefer you to understand what exactly are you doing. I'm explaining. If you think that it makes sense, you want to give it a try, give it a try. If I explain to you, you feel like, it doesn't make sense, okay, then don't try it, all right? So now, first of all, we want to use salt, okay, because traditionally or historically, now all these things you can search on your own or even Google research about it, okay? Salt is a substance that has been used, okay, over thousands and thousands of years. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, okay, the first, I would say, salt mine or a salt, what you call it, factory, okay, whatever that in human history is that you see evidence, okay, of human processing salts, okay, if I'm not mistaken, it is discovered somewhere about 8,000 years ago, okay, that's many, many thousand years ago, and that is in a way making it in bulk, you know, okay, and in histories itself, in human histories, all right, even before our ancient civilization, salt has been widely used, and we are talking about something that's been used since, I would say, thousands and thousands of years, all right. Our ancestors, okay, realized that having salt adding into our diet is important, especially after we enter into, like, in a way, an era where humans start to learn how to do farming. You know, human histories itself, it all started as like hunter-gatherers, because our ancestors, we are talking about like many, many thousand years ago, okay, right? It is not as civilized. Humans are like animals. We have to go into the forest and hunt, okay? So those are the group of humans that we call hunter-gatherers. And hunter-gatherers, okay, they are not so concerned about the supply of salt in their diet, because whenever you hunt, okay, for food, means that like you hunt for like probably at that time you hunt for like wild deer, okay, you hunt for probably even monkeys if they eat, okay, anything that in the wild. So when you eat this, okay, sort of animals, okay, and they drink the blood as well, and the content of sodium or the content of salt, okay, in the flesh or the blood of the animals itself will be enough to keep humans, I would say, salt, okay, requirement in our diet, okay, right, enough until when human learns about farming. When we change, when we progress, okay, when our ancestors learn about farming itself, okay, that is when, okay, they realize that they need to actually process salt. They need to create, they need to, in a way, create or condense it or make it whatever names that you want to call it, okay, to add into the diet itself, because they know that this is some of the particles. If we have to rely on farming our goods, it means our vegetables and all that, okay, then it will have a high tendency of a lacking of salt, okay. So therefore, it has been discovered or something in it even like up to thousands and years ago, okay. And if you see in the different religions, okay, or different rituals, salt has been widely used when it comes to religious or rituals purposes. Mainly, either in a way considered as sacred. Egyptians use it a lot, even as like an offerings, okay? Either an offerings during a rituals, okay, to the god, or even as an offering to the deceased, okay? People who died, okay, they also in a way like offers the salt. If you look at, even if you do research about like, you know, the Japanese, okay, of course, like the Europeans and all that as well, okay? Even the Wiccas, okay? Wiccas are those like witches, okay, you know, like paganism and Wiccas and all that. They use salt a lot, okay, in order for them to actually perform rituals, okay, or any, I would say, religious ceremony. Now, in, of course, our modern days, even up to now, you will see that Taoism, okay, or at least like Christianity, because recently, okay, those of you who follow, I was in Spain, all right? So, of course, I was in a way somehow led to actually follow a mass that's going on in Spain itself. At the end of the day, of course, they were also in a way using holy water when it comes to Christianity. Now, if you search about it, even Christianity, holy water itself, a lot of times, okay, they would actually, in a way, add in blessed salt, okay? So there are times that the holy water that they use, okay, in terms of their blessings itself, has contained of salt inside. Now, of course, Taoism is widely used. Any rituals, okay, right, of like Taoism, especially exorcism, or they say 请神, okay, in a way invoking, okay, the gods itself, right, they will also use salt. And mainly it is believed that it is actually helping them to, to ward off negative energy, evil spirits, okay. So when it comes to exorcism, okay, they will use the salt as well. Right, so salt has been used many years, okay, in human histories in different forms. And all these things in detail, I would like all of you to go and search about it, read about it, okay, it's all available. Right, so in Taoism, you know, new house itself, if you move into new house, if you follow, like, in a way, the, salt have that cleansing nature, okay. It's not only cleansing, in rituals itself, right, they use it as exorcism. Right, if you believe that the person in a way have some evil energy within them, they will also sprinkle salt, okay, to hopefully get rid of all this, what we call a evil spirit within. Even in Christianity, the holy water, they also in a way add in, okay, blessed salt. You can search about this. And of course, salt has been also in a way mentioned in the Bible, okay, together with some sacred other offerings as well. All right, so you see that Taoism, they use this a lot, especially when you move into a new house. When your house about to move in, there's a ritual they call the cleansing of the four corners of the house. So they will actually use some like rice, okay, so they have used rice, okay, some dried tea leaves, okay, and especially salt. They will add the salt and the rice and some tea leaf together. They will mix it and they will sprinkle all around the corners of the house, because this is believed that the salt itself is supposed to actually help to clean, okay, or to cleanse the energy. All right, so therefore, you know, salt, okay, has a very strong, I would say, cleansing energy, okay, ever since ancient time. It is supposed to preserve something and in a way avoid, or how to say, prevent something from rotting, prevent some energy from going bad. That's why they actually, in a way, human discovered the method, okay, in terms of preserving food by salting. Salting means like you pickle your food, okay? It's like salting means, you know, like salted fish and all that, okay? You have like your hamon, okay, the ham, okay, meat and all these things. They will actually, in a way, okay, prevent the food in order for you to keep it for a longer time, okay, especially through winter itself, by salting, okay. So they know that salt can actually be used, okay, by, in a way, cleansing. Also can also be used by salting or preserving certain food, okay, in order for us for it to avoid any bacteria or avoid any maggots or anything that grows into it, that the food will go into rotting. Now that is the history of salt. So first of all, we know that why do we use salt, and then the next thing is we need to understand how is salt developed. Now, as you can see behind me, mainly not only in the sea, you have Himalayan rock salt as well, okay? So a lot of times salt develop, okay, especially in areas where you have a lot of sunlight, okay? And you know, sunlight is yang energy. We want yang energy when it comes to Feng Shui, Qi, I would say purification. So anything that is exposed to a lot of yang energy or sunlight is considered good. That's why some of you will feel that, I don't know why, but let's say if I go and stroll along the seaside, like say example, if you walk along this seaside with the sea, or you dip yourself, okay, into the sea water and all that, you just feel good. Or at least just bring your legs to dip inside the seawater. You feel good. How many of you has experienced that before? Okay, somehow you feel that at a seaside area, even right, okay, you can feel or taste the saltiness. You try to go to the seaside area, you like, no, don't get into the water, you let the wind to blow onto you and you try to lick yourself. You taste salty one, you know. All right. So whenever we are in an area, okay, where the salt content is higher, okay, we feel rejuvenated. Our energy felt recharged, okay? So why is this so? Because the salt content or the salt element in that area is higher. It purifies our energy. It reduces our heavy energy. Anything that in a way pulls us down, our how to say, emotions of lower emotions, heavier emotions, depression, sadness and all that. Okay, so that's why people, in a way, somehow they just know that they go along the seaside, they play along the seaside, or they just sit around there, they feel better. And that is the power of salt. So the next thing we have to ask is like, so how salt is in a way created? Now this one you can also search about it, okay? So generally, in short, you know that salt is created through a base. It means a substance, something is there, and also an acidic content. Now acidic content or anything that's acidic is deemed as what we call a bad qi when it comes to Feng Shui, okay? Because acids erode things, okay? Acids is a way that, let's say your body, your health, people talk about nowadays drinking alkaline water or lemon water, okay, or eating something that in a way try to neutralize the body so that it becomes more alkaline instead of more acidic. So why do we need to do that? Because acid, okay, or acidic environment or acidic qi is something that has a higher chance, okay, to in a way impact on humans' health, including your body. That's why people go for detox. People in a way purposely subscribe to some alkaline water, okay, because they believe that nowadays whatever food or a lot of things that we eat has been processed, okay, with a lot or high content of acid. So how salt is created is, okay, if you search about this, salt is created through a base with acid. So what they do is, these two, one yin and one yang, one positive ion and one negative ion, the acid and the base itself, okay, will get together and neutralize it. And it is actually called, okay, the salt is created through a neutralizing process. Okay, neutralizing process means that if there is some acid and there's a certain base, okay, now and then in a way existing around the area itself, right, it will have a chemically sort of like reaction happening, okay, and it will neutralize this particular acid formations or qi or energy or whatever you call it, okay. So this process called a neutralizing process is also exactly the process or how this saltwater cure is working on. Because when it comes to Feng Shui, there are mainly three things that we want to do to the qi. We want to, in a way, okay, activate qi. That's why a lot of you who are following me, you heard about, oh, activation, Feng Shui activation. You activate on a good date, activate this sector, activate that sector. That is activation of qi. Now, besides activations of qi, okay, we also see, okay, in Feng Shui itself, right, we also have what we call a manipulations of qi. Manipulations of qi means that now we want to change, okay, this particular qi form, okay. If it's acidic, we want to neutralize it. We want to manipulate this energy level so that it changes form, it transforms itself, okay, hopefully from something not so positive into something better. So that is how the purpose of, in a way, trying to do Feng Shui in the house. We identify what are the sa qi, what are the heavy energy, what could be the possibly energy that resides in the house. Then after that, we want to use different remedy to manipulate, or in a way to just like activate it. All right, or the next one is like, you want to circulate the qi. Mainly three methods. Okay, whenever you talk about Feng Shui, remember, activate qi, circulate qi, manipulate qi. Circulation means that, okay, you want to make sure certain pathway. You put like a fan in your home, okay, or twirling water going or running one direction. You want to realign the movement of like people of your house, okay, where's the living room, where's the kitchen, how the pathway should look like. From your office itself, okay, where's the pantry, where's the office, okay, where's the cubicle, so that when you force people to walk along this particular alignment itself, that is what we call circulating of qi. Shopping malls is the same thing, okay? You want to put certain areas of food area where everyone mostly go to the mall for the food. So this area itself will be the most prosperous, okay? So you want to make sure that when you get there, you want to usher that people who go towards that direction will walk through certain areas to ensure that all these areas are activated as well. And that's called circulating of qi. Means you direct the qi to where you want it to go. And of course, saltwater cure is a manipulation of qi. Now, how to manipulate the qi? Because now, in a way that if you know that certain energy or qi, okay, is residing in that sector, there are going to be a heavy energy or a negative energy for 2023. Example coming up, you have a 5 yellow. Normally, we talk about the 5 yellow or the 2 black star. All right, but this year itself, I want to focus on the 5 yellow, because the 5 yellow just takes its center position this year. Okay, those of you who know Feng Shui, you know. Okay, the 5 yellow goes back into its home base this year. It gets strengthened, it gets stronger. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying that, oh, you have to be afraid of the 5 yellow. It's scary, it's going to be bring you disaster, because a lot of time Feng Shui has been taught that way, okay? So yeah, 5 yellow, I wouldn't say that is a bad star. I would just say that it's an aggressive star, okay? Its aggression is so strong because it's one of the biggest stars. My student will know this, okay? Out of the whole entire 7 star system, okay? Or you call it the Big Dipper. Right? So because it's so big, the energy that is going to impact on Earth's human on Earth itself is going to be intense. So for people who are ready, you have no issue with the 5 yellow. For people who are mentally, okay, like emotionally and physically ready, you have no issue with the 5 yellow because you know how to arm wrestle with it. But there are some people, right, okay, somehow we are still, in a way, like invoked with fear. There's still a lot of uncertainty. We are not that ready to arm wrestle with this big guy, The 5 yellow is the big guy. We are not ready to arm wrestle. So what we want to do is, we want to manipulate this guy, tame him down so that, he won't come in. Let's say, for example, if he has been like, you give him a shot of tranquilizer. He's so aggressive, he's like, running amok, okay, right, this year in your entire house, in that particular corner especially. So what you need to do, why you need a Feng Shui remedy is hopefully you give him a shot of tranquilizer. So now it calms him down, okay, it still has his strength there, but his strength won't kill you lah. Let's put it that way, all right? So that's why we need to, in a way, put up a saltwater cure. Firstly, we know that salt, because of its purifying element, okay, naturally, okay. And then secondly, okay, we want to manipulate this qi. So then, yes, I know you say that salt is actually created through the process of what we call a neutralization process, okay? So when we put it there, when it comes to Feng Shui, how is it going to, in a way, manipulate the qi there? So I'm going to bring you to the next slide, okay? So this slide here doesn't belong to me. This animation is very nice. It belongs to Wirecutter, but I like it. I'm sure all of you, okay, have at least experienced before the headphones where we call a noise cancellation headphone. Somehow, okay, when you put on the headphone itself, right, okay, any loud noises out there, somehow it's like dog barking lah, baby crying lah, okay, car honking and all these things, right, it will reduce, okay, or in a way, it's not muffling your ear, but somehow when you put on the headphone, when you turn on that noise cancellation sort of button, you know that all these noises suddenly it neutralize, okay? Either it becomes totally cannot be heard, okay? Or somehow it is so soft, okay, comparatively without the headphone. So how does this noise cancellation works, okay? So you know that the noise cancellation works on the base of outside wave. Outside wave means outside energy. The barking of the dog, the baby crying, the car honking, all these things, right? It will actually flow into the mic or into the headphone itself, okay? Right? As you can see from this blue wave also over here. So the outside wave, all this noisy sound, okay, flow in, okay, through this particular blue line that you see. So what the headphone now do is, it generates, okay, a wave sound, okay, that in a way, one yin, one yang, one positive, one negative. It will automatically know how to match this outside wave with a totally opposite wave sound that neutralizes it. So when that is generated, okay, right, the whatever sound from outside, the wave, when it's combined together, it neutralizes the sound. So therefore, this is the mechanism between, or behind, okay, the noise cancellation sort of like headphones. Now the same thing, saltwater cure. So saltwater cure, when you create it, or in a way correctly created it, okay, right, with the salt and the water and the coins. Later, I will also teach you how to set up. So when it is created like this, okay, there will be a chance, okay, that this particular salt water over here with the coins put inside. Why you need the coins? Because the coins can make whatever, like the water inside becomes acidic. Okay, this matter inside, okay? So it can actually make it acidic. So when that happens, it will have a chance to grasp on, okay, to whatever ions that you have in that particular area, okay, of that area of your house itself, okay, to actually, in a way, especially acidic energy. Now, normally, 5 yellow, 2 black, any stars, okay, that has what we call a more negative impact, okay, a more negative impact, a lower energy impact has a chance to what we call acidic chi, okay. So therefore you see a house, okay, somehow if the house feng shui is not good, a lot of also all what we call it acidic chi or bad chi accumulations in the house will, do you say a house rot, okay, erode faster, okay? Right, you see a house that has a lot of acidic chi, you see that somehow even the paint outside the house or inside the house, it will darken faster. It will, in a way, tarnish faster, okay? Why is it so? It means in an area where you see that this area itself has a lot of negative chi, bad chi or whatever you see it, okay? The house itself, naturally, this house itself, right, will see physically, you can see that this house, right, that corner, you have a lot of like probably molds will come out, okay? The discolorations of the paint will happen faster, okay? And the whole house will deteriorate faster, okay? And because the energy that we cannot see or taste or smell has a certain level of bad chi, also equivalent to acidic chi inside it, okay? So now that when we sort out the saltwater cure, and you put in the corner that we suspect due to the calculations of every year annual star, that for instance next year is where the 5 yellow is, especially 5 yellow has been recharged this year. Super strong, okay, this year, okay, it goes back to base, okay, and it recharges itself. So for next year itself, I just want to focus on the 5 yellow location, okay? So when you put the saltwater cure at that location, it is going to do its work. It means the salt now, okay, with a bit of acidic element, okay, triggered inside the salt. Salt water is purification, okay, it purifies, okay, but once that it is triggered, okay, it has a chance to, in a way, absorb, okay, all the what we call acidic energy or negative energy or heavy energy in that particular sector itself. And when this particular absorptions or meeting, okay, of two substances together, that is when the growing of the crystals will happen, okay. And when the crystal starts to grow, that's when you see the crystal start to grow, right? Many of you see the photos. Some of you, oh my God, like why it grows? Like how come mine is not growing? How come theirs is growing? So once the crystal grows, it means that in the process of that growing that's happening, a neutralization, okay, is happening in that sector. Okay, so that is exactly how noise cancellation works. Are you okay? Are you following me? All right. I know the way that I explain all these things, it might feel like, wow, Jessie, I thought you would come in and tell me exactly when to remove like this year's saltwater cure and give me a date to put on the new one. It's like, why suddenly I felt like I'm going to a science class like that? Okay, yeah, I know, but to me, it's like when I want to share something with you, I also want you to understand what you're doing. Remember, Feng Shui has enough of not so positive names in the market, okay? Because a lot of people up to now, they still say that Feng Shui lo ngak lei 10年8年. You know, they say that no Feng Shui masters will cheat you for 10 years or 8 years, okay? So let's try to purify, okay, that sort of belief which is in the market, because hey, this is my rice bowl, okay? So that's why we need to educate so that you understand real Feng Shui, this is how it works, okay? So you know that whatever that you do, at least you understand what you're doing. It's not that when your relative come to you during Chinese New Year, and then after that, they're asking you, why on earth are you putting that salt, like big vase of salt there? And you say, yeah, because this, Jessie, that Feng Shui master, they asked me to put. And then now, your family or friends will have this very skeptic view on you, okay? Please don't do that. So that now I want all of you to proudly explain. This is why I'm putting this, right? If you remember, okay, whatever that I share, okay? So this is why I'm putting it. And this is, in a way, hopefully, it will help me to purify, okay, this particular sector, okay? So, yes, Jonathan Yip, I will also explain that as well. The difference between using salt and metal. Thank you for your questions, okay? So, remember in Spain, also, I pop up a video asking you whether you use salt or use metal. Now, a lot of people choose to use metal. Why? Because it's easier, okay, right? You choose to use the metal because metal is like 方便, they say convenient to use. Like put some metal there, 搞掂, okay? On a good day, put metal there, then 收工, okay, right? It's easier, okay? But the thing is, you see, the whole process, putting metal there and having the salt water cure there is totally different function altogether, okay? Because it's like metal is supposed to be, in a way, like loosen up earth or heavy energy, especially moving metal. So you see, nowadays, of course, people like convenience, okay? People like things to be done conveniently, okay? So Feng Shui masters have to also think of like, what is the best convenient way so that my client can use, or else I can lose the client, right? If every time my client comes to you and you give them the most difficult way to practice, chances is, oh, this Feng Shui master very mafan. Imagine you go to a doctor, okay, right? And then after that, every time you see the doctor, you have to eat 10 medication. And then another doctor, you go to him, right? 2 medication. Chances is, wow, why this one so many medication? But I don't want. I go and see 2 medication, man. Easier, man, right? Okay, so a lot of times we are living in an era where things needs to be convenient. And also because of this also, right, the chances is people has misunderstood. So firstly, go back to basic. What is the purpose of metal? Now, traditionally, no one actually puts like just like your dumbbell metal there, okay? Because firstly, you want to use metal, the metal needs to be able to activate its qi. So normally, you see, traditionally, okay, either in the West or of course in China and all that, when you put a metal Feng Shui remedy, it comes in the form of a bell. You know the big bell, okay? Either it's a gong or a bell. You know, people going around, okay, of certain areas, they play the gong, you know, they have to go around and like, ching ching chang chang play the gong. So that is activation, okay, or you use a symbol, but most, okay, of the time is a bell. So normally religious places, okay, they want matter energy to dissolve all this heavy energy, to dissolve, okay, all this like, in a way, sa qi. When it comes to Feng Shui, they will use the bell. So every time they actually, now the bell is not your ice cream bell or your Santa Claus bell, okay? These are huge bell, like the one that you can see from the my temple as well, okay? So when this bell, every time it is not, the bell is activated. So when the sound of the bell, just like the sound of the Ting Sha, is good for cleansing. Why is it? Because it purifies, it loosens up the stagnant or heavy energy in that sector. But the thing is, can you go to your house, that corner, and actually, like in a way, like tong your bell every day, preferably for a few times? Now, last time, okay, right, even in the, like, how to say, Wang Gong, Wang Gong means like in the Gugong, means the how to say, the emperors, how to say, what do you call it already? Okay, not the castle. Like, you know, the Forbidden City is like, what the name? It's like the emperor's house, okay? So they have a specific people, okay, to go around, okay, banging, okay, the gong, and also striking the bell, all right? So all these things got people in a way specific, that's their job to do it, you know. But nowadays, how many people do it? Then it transcends to what? Grandfather clock. You know, an era where, okay, especially in China, you still see a lot of grandfather clock, right? Every 15 minutes, every one palace, yeah, okay, the Chinese palace, okay? So we see like every 15 minutes, every 1 hour, you know, the grandfather clock will chime. And this chime is actually the metal chime originally. It's supposed to be the, in a way, the knocking of that bronze metal which is inside, okay? That still acts as what, okay? As a Feng Shui remedy using metal. And then after that, it involved, we have what? All this quartz sort of like clock and all that. Now our clock needs to be as silent as possible. No more metal things inside, okay? Everything digital. So therefore, all these things doesn't work anymore, okay? And the convenience sake, they will say that, okay, put some dumbbell there, put at that sector. Now, what this particular metal cannot do is, because it is not moving, okay? It is not triggered. So when it's not triggered, plus, okay, it is not big as well, okay? Yes, it still have an energy, even though you say that, yeah, metal, if it's not knock on, when you put a metal there, the atoms inside the metal, okay, it's still vibrating. It still have a bit of metal chi that emits out of it. But imagine your house, okay, generally Malaysian house, 1,000 over square feet at least. And that metal bell, I mean the dumbbell metal, okay, you stack maybe 5 or 6. Normally you don't use 5, you use 6, okay? You stack 6 together at the corner. You think it's good enough, okay, to actually vibrate, okay, its energy to clear, okay, not even the whole house, that sector. It's not enough. But for convenience sake, okay, yes. Right, is the sound very soft? No, huh? Okay. All right. So that's why, okay, using metal is for different, we'll say, purposes altogether. You can put it there, let's say, for instance, to just make sure that the chi over there is loosened up. Like for cases that's not so severe, not so extreme, you can try lah, you put it there. Better than nothing, okay? But of course, the most, I would say, result-driven, okay? The most powerful and result-driven, saltwater cure. So you understand now? Because saltwater cure, actively on its own, it will do its work. You don't, if you set it correctly, okay? Because you don't have to, in a way, go and knock it every day. In fact, you want to leave it and it will do its work to neutralize, to capture all this negative energy around the area, neutralizes it to form your salt crystal. All right, so let's look at the next one. Of course, I want to also share with you before that, okay? The next one, I will sit on the side replying to your questions here, and I'll replay you, okay, the videos that I've taken like probably 2 years ago, okay, on how to select a vase. It's important because I see some of you, why is it not working? You are not setting up correctly, okay? But of course, still better than not doing it lah. It's up to you, but we learn, okay? So now listen carefully of like how to select the vase, what are the requirements, and how to actually set up this particular saltwater cure, okay? So now I'm going to play that video and you can see while I can also in a way reply some of your message and also greetings under comments. Hi everyone. Now I'm at Pudu Ria HQ here in Jalan Chan Sao Lin, Jalan 4 Chan Sao Lin. So those of you, if you're looking for the vase for your saltwater cure, now most of the time I'll get it here. Now I used to get it in IKEA, but they already run out of stock, and most of the time I go and check, they don't have the right appropriate size. But here in Pudu Ria, the people here are very friendly, okay? Alright, so here you can actually, if you want, you can actually try and get it here. Plus they have plenty of beautiful flowers. Now for this round, okay, I couldn't find the long cylinder type, okay, which normally I would use at home. But this time round, they have this round vase, which is very suitable. Now if your house is like not that big, probably it's about like, you know, 1,000 plus 2,000, it is okay for you to use the smaller vase itself. But let's say if you want to have a bigger impact or a bigger effect, right, I would suggest you to use this. Now this is selling at 206 ringgit, all right? And the smaller, slightly smaller one is selling at 156 ringgit, all right? So I'll be getting this for this year, but I want you all to remember, now try not to get those which is too small. Now, a lot of times people make mistake is, okay, when they actually get the vase which is too small, examples like this. If you can actually see the vase like this which is too small, that is not recommended. Or any which is like smaller round vase like this is not recommended. So you have to get the big one, and this is all they have, you know, limited stock. So try to get your vase, set up your saltwater cure as soon as possible, and I will see you and share with you the dates very soon after this. Okay, So that video, okay, is actually in a way sharing with you how to select the, I would say the correct, okay, like vase. You have to select it, right? And it needs to be big enough for your house, okay? Because I see a lot of time people starting it is like, you know, you just use a small little jar that probably you go out and drink cocktails, okay? I mean, yeah, it's still better than not doing anything, but those won't work if you ask me. Now, this is created, I can understand, especially mainly in Hong Kong. Because Hong Kong, right, okay, you know I have clients there, okay, and then some of my seafood is from Hong Kong, okay. So because Hong Kong itself, a average house itself probably range from 500 square feet to 600 square feet, and that's considered luxury, you know, okay. So their houses are extremely small. So everything needs to squeeze in size. I mean, they cannot afford to put like one big saltwater cure inside their house itself because their actually premise is very, very tiny. So therefore, slowly it evolved into people trying, okay, to create smaller, I would say, handier sort of like saltwater cure. But generally, even if you are in Europe, okay, if you are in Singapore, Malaysia, all these small little jars will not work, right? So now you understand how to select the vase or the jar, right? Those of you in Europe, I know some of you will say that, oh, all these vase, you cannot find it. It's not true, okay? In fact, I've been walking around Spain in a few cities. I'm not sure whether Barcelona, okay, San Sebastian, a lot of all those like places that sells, okay, all these like house furniture and all that, decors, they have beautiful artistic decorations and all that, they sell it, okay? In fact, it's like, it's even bigger and even more beautiful, okay? So you can easily find it. It is available. If not, you can order it online as well, all right? So after understanding how to select that, let's go into how to, in a way, prepare it, how to create it, okay? So pay attention to this. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to actually set up the saltwater cure, okay? As you can see here, I've actually poured some salt into the vase itself, okay? But I'm not going to do the whole setup, okay? Because I'm not going to waste the salt. And I don't want to actually pour them out later on. But roughly, I'm going to give you an idea, okay, of how to really like, you know, set this up. But the first, most important thing is get the correct vase. Now, I've seen numerous people who have gotten the vase which is not recommended. Remember, the first thing is it needs to be glass, okay? So, and the second thing, preferably it is transparent. Do not use plastic. Do not use any stainless steel or whatever. No plastic. Now, I have clients who actually use, you know, those like chiller for beers and all the things, okay? Those plastic sort of like container where you chill your beers and all that, that is not usable. It needs to be of glass, transparent, and always focus into the openings of the vase itself, okay? So normally, if you can see here, this one has a wider diameter and opening compared to this. Alright, so if you're staying in a normal apartment, condominium, about 1,002 square feet, this particular size will be perfect, okay? It will be good enough. As you can see, the diameter is almost about like a palm length, right? But if you're staying anything about like 1,500 and above, 2,000, even 3,000 square feet per floor, okay? This is too small. Try to get a bigger one, all right? Because you see, the size of the vase needs to be in a way like, you know, substantial enough for the size of the house lah, okay? So this is something that I brought from Puduria. If I'm not mistaken, it's about like 210 or something like that, okay? Yeah. Okay, I've forgotten the actual price, okay? So you can get it there. Normally, they have the cylinder type as well with a bigger opening, right? But it's just that sometimes, now I go, it's like they don't have the stock. So always check it out. I used to get this from actually IKEA, but I've checked this few times itself. IKEA do not carry big vases, like cylinder vases like this anymore that carries a big diameter. The small ones are not recommended. Okay, the openings needs to be big enough. Alright, and then after getting the right vase itself, right, you have to ensure that you get the salt, okay? Now, what I have here is actually the salt, which is good enough and kind enough from Chang Feng, who volunteered to get for me, okay? Chang Feng from J Group. He got for me the table salt, the fine salt, the refined one, okay? Which is from NSK. One bag like this is 5 kg and it's 380. Now, to me, it doesn't need to be so expensive, okay? So you don't have to get fine table salt. You can actually get the coarse rock salt, okay? The one that they actually use for the salt baked chicken. So it's not for consumption, but it used to bake the chicken itself, okay? The rocky one, right? The big coarse salt itself, right? I bought before in the wet market. One whole big gunny sack, about like 40 kg, is probably about like 13 ringgit, all right? Okay, so you can check it out. It will be much more economical. So remember, it doesn't need to be so expensive, okay? Because you cannot use the salt after the whole thing anymore. So what you need to do is like, once you have gotten all this ready, right? On the day and the time that I'll be sharing with you later on, make sure that you actually set up your salt water cure, okay? All you need to do is like, you just ensure that you pour all this salt inside. Well, just keep pouring it until it fills up the whole entire vase itself, okay? So I'm not going to actually pour all the salt inside this vase and fill it up, okay? Because that will require a lot of salt, and at the same time, because I'm not setting it up now, so I don't want to take the trouble to actually pour it back out later on. But ensure when you pour it in, right, now you see, normally it will be very loose. You need to use something or use your palm of your hand to actually press it. So lever it down, press it so that it is compact. Because I want, okay, later on, after one packet, you press it until it's compact and then continue with another packet. Why is it so? It's because once you fill it up, and I want you to fill up at least up to the rim here, about 1 inch below the rim of the vase, about 1 inch. Okay, and make sure that it is pressed down and compact, because the reason is later on when we put the water in, right, chances of the salt, it will further sink in, all right? So if you find that it is sinking in, right, okay, you have to add more salt. Preferably once the salt is settled, it will leave about 1 inch gap, okay, to the rim of it. So the rest of here, it will be like filled up with water. It doesn't need to have a lot of water. You have to fill up until the water just covering the surface of the salt. That will be good enough, okay? And of course, during the live later on, I'll be also showing you what are the coins, okay, that you should be using and how you should be placing them, or why is it important and how does it work, okay? So I hope that, okay, you understand. Roughly, the most important thing is when you pour in the salt itself, right, press it in so that it is compact. All right, so if you have any questions, do drop it in the comment. I will try to attend to your questions, okay? And then now, let's go back to the live. Okay, all right, so from there, okay, you will see that it's like how to properly set up a saltwater cure, right? And you look at the size of the vase, okay? So you need to actually use, okay, a vase that is big enough for your house, right? Or else it will be like, you know, it will be a waste up, okay? Because at the end of the day, it won't be able to actually, in a way, serve its purpose or do the work for you. And remember, from this video here, I actually use, in a way, the fine salt, okay? Because Chang Feng helped me to buy. He so happened to actually buy the fine salt. You don't have to use the fine salt. You can use the rock salt, you know, the coarse one, okay? If I'm not mistaken, I think NSK have it in like one big pack of, I think 20 kg or 40 kg, I'm not sure. It's not expensive at all, okay? And this vase itself, right, okay, at least you can put in easily about like 20 kg, okay, right? So buy one big one, okay, and like try to set it up as, okay, correctly, following the instructions as close as possible, and then you'll be able to, in a way, see it activated. So now that you know how to create the vase itself, the next point is, okay, how to actually place the coins. So I'm going to share with you, okay, the coins. Now, of course, the coins itself, okay, right, whether you use the ancient coins or our, like, in a way, modern day coins of your own, like, currency itself, it doesn't matter, okay, right? You just want to put some coins, or in a way, it gives, it's like a metal, sort of like elements inside there, okay? It's like an activator, okay? It wakes up, okay, the whole saltwater cure itself to create it. Now, this was like, okay, one of my saltwater cure photo, okay, one of the years that I've created it. So why you want to put 6? Now, normally 6 is only a symbol, because in terms of like Feng Shui and all that, okay, besides the practical parts of things, you know, ancient Chinese and all that, okay, or don't say ancient Chinese, in all religions, in all traditions, in all culture as well, symbolism is important, all right? So in a way that we have to put all the 6 coins, okay, right, into it in a circle. Now the circle, okay, represents the symbolism of metal. We want to create also what we call a metal energy, because 5 yellow or 2 black star is an earth energy. And earth energy is the one that can accumulate, okay, and gathers its energy, becomes like heavier and heavier, okay. So we do not want this energy to be so dense or heavy. We want to loosen it up, okay. So in order to loosen it up, that's why the idea of putting metal plates is there. So when we put the coins also, okay, of course you want to put it in line. 1 line cannot, 2 line cannot, can. There's nothing wrong with it. But we want to also, by the way, by all means, create the symbolism for it. So we want to put it in the round circle. So the round circle represents metal. It represents qian, okay, or heaven. So number 6 also represents heaven, qian gua. It is like a more powerful, I would say, meta chi element, okay? So we want to create a symbolism, okay, to in a way invoke more of this meta chi by in a way invoking the qian gua. Now you see, from the ancient coins itself, why people like to put ancient coins? Because ancient coins got meaning. Everything, the deeper, the more historical you delve to think, the deeper the meaning is. Everything in the modern days itself is mainly, not to say that it doesn't have meaning. Of course, you say Malaysia coin here, you have the hibiscus, it got meaning, okay? It's a national flower. But over time itself, right, you will see that the meanings of life, the meanings of things, okay, becomes lesser and lesser because humans just want things to be more convenient and more convenient, all right? So here, okay, you see, if you're using ancient coin, remember, you have to put the side with the wordings. The yang side of the coin are the sides with the wording. Now you see the other side, one side with wordings and one side normally it comes with symbolism, symbol drawings or anything. Now the drawings or the symbolism, okay, that side is a yin side. Now if you're using a Malaysian coin, okay, the one with the flower, okay, I mean the one with like, you know, like just like no writings on it, those side is a yin side. The side with the right 50 cent, okay, Bank Negara Malaysia, this side is the yang side. All right, so if you're using like, you know, Singapore coins or European coins or what that, okay, so look into the side that have the most writings on it. The side with the most writing is considered the yang side. So ancient coin, okay, people like to use this, okay, because ancient coins that are used by human, okay, every coins, okay, that we use, it is symbolized of heaven, earth, and man, because men use it, human use it. So when a human use it, it actually, in a way, an activation or an exchange of energy, because money is energy, right? So every time you use a coin, it's an exchange of energy. So the way that the ancient coins are created, in a circle, the round part represents heaven. As I mentioned, round represents qian, represents heaven. And then you will see there will be a square at the center, okay? So the square at the center represents earth. So in one coin itself, you have a combination of heaven and earth in one coin. The square, okay, at the center is an earth element. Square is earth element. So therefore, ancient coin here, whenever we use an ancient coin, it is like a connection or a union between heaven, earth, and man. That's why traditionally we advise people, if you can find this, use this. But please don't use the real antique ancient coin, because that's very valuable. There are a lot of like made in China coins outside there. If you want, you can get it. It's very cheap. All right. If not, use your own currency coins. All right, Singapore coins also can. All right, so then Patrick Sia says, can I use Himalaya salt? You can. Epsom salt, Himalayan salt, you can. But the thing is, it's going to be expensive. It doesn't need to, because even though you use just the normal, you know, coarse salt is like, you know, if you like, you know, normally delicacy, okay, they have like salt bake something, they use it at the bottom, okay, right? They don't eat those salt itself, okay, but in a way it just use it to bake something. Or you know, in Chinese, Malaysia here, we like what we call salt baked chicken, yim kok kai. You know, you have that very big coarse salt to actually in a way like cook or bake, okay, the chicken with it. Those are the coarse salt, and it's very cheap. So if you use Epsom salt and Himalayan salt, it's a waste, especially Epsom salt, because it's expensive. Those are the salts you want to use on your own personal energy cleansing. Means your salt cleansing and your salt scrub. Use on your body. Don't use it for the house. For the house itself, you can use the coarse salt. It will be good enough. It still do the same, I would say, function for you. And some of you just now, okay, were saying that, can I put it in my room? Yes, if 5 yellow so happens to be in your bedroom, you can put it in. Because this particular, I would say, the saltwater cure itself is not going to trigger anything. You put it there, you leave it for the whole entire year. Okay, if you see that the water dries up a bit, you slowly, gently add a bit of water into it. Okay, you don't change water, don't do anything to it. But when you set up, remember, you need to make sure that you protect your floor. Preferably, you put a metal plate, a round metal plate underneath the vase, okay? Because when the salt grows itself, the salt crystal grows, sometimes it will even, like in a way, be droplets of it surrounding that area. So if your floor is a parquet floor, okay, any like marbles or certain tiles itself, right, okay, it will tarnish because the salt itself, okay, will erode or it will affect the color, okay, of this particular flooring. So discoloration will happen. So you make sure you put something to protect, a mat. Then after that, put the round tray there and put the whole vase on top of it. Now, over time, you see, they could be sometimes, okay, if they're really doing the job very well, right, okay. Now, you see, why, those of you who learn Feng Shui, you know, okay, why like 5 yellow or the two black stars and all that, right? Why certain stars, okay? Like you have like Sheng Qi, okay, you have like Wu Gui star, okay, in Feng Shui, right, okay? Certain negative stars itself, right, okay, it's called a negative star because it doesn't form a pattern, okay? It's just like, you know, what's that? Sorry, I always forget the guy, the doctor with the water one, Emoto. Masaru Emoto, okay, search about him because he sees that, okay, water, okay, and all these things is at a certain pattern. Everything has a certain pattern, okay. When the flow of the pattern is in harmony, is beautiful, okay, that's when it's considered harmony and peaceful and joyful. So when the flow of the pattern itself is in a way in chaos, okay, where you don't have a specific pattern there, that's considered like what we call a chaotic energy or a bad chi, okay. So therefore, okay, all this what we call the 5 yellow, the chances is any sachi, okay, why it's called sachi is because it doesn't form a proper pattern. So when you set up a saltwater cure, not all the time, I don't get this all the time, okay, but if you actually set it up correctly, there will be sometimes that you can actually see the pattern forming. Pattern forming, can you see that the coins are here? Except for this coin here is slightly sunken. So here you see that it's missing a line. You see, every coins here, you see that it will grow a line, slightly in a way protruding out from the side or the rim of the saltwater cure. All right? So now is when we actually manipulated the chi, not only that it grows the crystal, because salt crystals also has a pattern, right? Besides it's growing the crystal, it also forms, in a way, a distinctive pattern on your vase itself. Not all the time. If you don't get it, it is fine. But if you get this, mean that it is really doing its most superior job. Okay, so give thanks, okay, to the saltwater cure, okay, when you discard it. Understand? Now, how to dispose, I will share with you in a short while. Does it matter if the salt is ionized or deionized? It doesn't really matter because normally for me, like, you don't really have to go and, like, in a way, get the ionized salt or whatever. You just have to get that big, like, you know, big whole packet, okay, of the coarse salt, okay, that will do the trick. But sometimes, okay, like, people use, like, you know, the refined one, the table salt, can also, as long as the salt is used, all right? But I will just advise you, don't use expensive salt. Yes?
Shirley mentioned water softener salt.
Okay.
She's been using it for years. Shirley Chong.
I mean, yeah, okay, it's okay as long as in a way, now, the salt itself, okay, in a way, as I will say that it is as, how to say, as pure, okay, to the natural content of salt, okay, means that the saltiness level, okay, right, as pure as possible, it will be the best. Okay, so preferably, okay, it's not so much, I would say, like human processor, okay, right, as pure to its natural form will be the best. Okay, so no, some of the salt is bleached one, our table salt and all that is all bleached. I mean, it's not the best, but it's still better than nothing. Okay, so normally we want to go into the purest form of the salt. That's why the coarse salt, it appears very dirty one also, like yellow, it's not bleached. Okay, so that is cheap. Okay, very cheap, affordable, okay, and you can buy it in bulk, okay, and it's like it can come up with a very big packet, okay, and it's not expensive, okay, so that one will be the, I would say, I will highly recommend it, okay. Can we reuse? No, you cannot reuse the salt cure. That's why every year you need to renew it, all right, because it has done its work for the whole entire year, because by next year it will change position. You only want to put it into an area, because after some time itself, okay, you want to renew everything, okay, and actually set up, okay, a new one. So now is the timing, means that, okay, the next slides you will see that there are a certain, okay, I would say auspicious remover date that you can use. So how to remove it? Example, this is a close day, January 6th, okay, I use it for your, in a way, house cleansing as well, okay, it's a Friday. Now, it clashed with horse. But as I mentioned, even if you are born in the year of a horse, you can still use it, but be extra careful, because chances of like breaking the vase and hurting yourself is very, very high, because when you remove it, especially when you have the salt in a way grow at the rim, okay, of your vase, it is very slippery. Okay, so it will just come out in one whole chunk and you will break the whole entire vase. And it's dangerous because the vase itself is very sharp. All right, so if it clashes you, it means that chances of accidents happening is higher. But doesn't mean you cannot use it. You just have to be extremely careful. But of course, if you can avoid it, it's better to avoid, okay, using it, or ask someone else to remove it. So what you need to do is on the 6th of January morning, 7:30 a.m. Okay, now use this. I know a lot of times when I share, right, after sharing, oh, do you have other date? Oh, I cannot do it here. I cannot do this date. Now, if you cannot do on the dates I give you, then use any other dates that according to your preference or convenience, okay? Because the purpose of date selection is not to alter the, I would say, the choices to our convenience. Remember that. We cannot alter the stars in order to, in a way, suit our convenience, right? So that if we have the dates itself, okay, so happen if we have the dates, use it, because if you use it, you just miss it. Then forget about choosing date anyway, all right? So 6th of January, okay, Friday, clash horse, 7:30. This is a very good day to remove. Use it if you can, all right? Closing one chapter so that you can start another chapter. This is also a jiazi day, okay? So those of you who knows it, I've explained about this during my house cleansing. Now, we have one more date here that you can, in a way, consider using is the 15th of January. This is a Sunday. Now, you have weekdays, you have weekends, okay? Now, you only have daytime, morning preferably. I don't advise removing saltwater cure. If can, okay, avoid removing at night. Okay, if can, okay, remove in the morning, because when you remove, the sunlight is still bright, okay, the yang energy is still bright, okay, it actually in a way still helps you to mitigate out all the heavy energy. So 15 January, 9:30 a.m. If you're born in the year of the rabbit, be extra careful, that's all, okay, you can still use it if you want to, all right, and I have another date, okay, so the last date itself is a remove day, 20th January, it's also a Friday, clash monkey, 11:30 a.m. Now, this timing means that you start removing. You can end like, okay, you can slowly remove, doesn't matter. It might take you like 1 hour or 2 hours depending, okay, to remove it, it doesn't matter. So what you need to do is best, okay, remember when you carry the salt crystal at the side of your like glass vase is going to be very slippery. It will come out as one chunk. So if you're carrying like this, right, okay, it will slip off, the whole vase will drop. Okay, right, so you have to be very careful. Always try to carry from the bottom up. Okay, if your house is big, you have to carry a far place itself, I mean a far distance. Try to use a trolley, put it onto the trolley, or put it onto a soft, like, you know, smooth cloth or anything, so that you can slowly drag it out to your balcony, to your car porch, or to the toilet, okay, where it is most, like, I would say, bright. To a place preferably where you have sunlight shining on it. Okay, you have balcony, do it at a balcony or the toilet with sunlight penetration, or in your car porch, okay, or a garden area. But be careful if your garden area, if you have very, very nice grass and all that, or any flowers, okay, it will kill them off, okay. So you can do it at your car porch area. Now, what you need to do is buy some gunny sack or the big, I would say, rubbish bags, okay. Double it up, okay. You can put some newspaper underneath, okay, right, if you want to. Like, slowly scoop up the salt inside, okay, slowly. If you have water, drain out the water first, okay, as much as possible. Scoop up, okay, this salt inside, okay, and put inside this big garbage bag. Double, triple layer it if you need to, and dump it into your rubbish bin so that, you know, it can be, in a way, taken away. Do not throw all this salt, including the water, onto your drain, okay? It will clog your drain because it will get stuck there. Out in the sunlight, it will grow, okay? So you have problems. What is hardened, okay, and it will clog it. So you need to scoop it out, okay, and then after that, throw everything into a rubbish bag and throw off the rubbish bag. Then the whole vase itself, okay, you can actually, in a way, reuse it. Wash it, okay, and reuse it. Now, what you need to do is like leave it out in the open under sunlight, okay, to let it expose, okay, day and night, at least a few days. Then you can reuse the vase. All of you following? Okay? All right, what directions where I can put this one? Later, okay? I will, in a way, like share with you later as well. Right, so remember, dispose the salt itself, be very, very careful. You might hurt yourself. As I mentioned, the salt at the side and all that, no salt water, especially all this like intense salt water itself, is very slippery. Okay, so you have to be careful. Right, remove all the salt, wash, okay, the whole vase itself, and then after that, you can actually put it out there for a few days, put it back inside your house, wait until the next day to install and use it all over again. All right, now for people, but Jessie, that day I'm rushing for work, okay? So I have no time to clear it, everything. It's okay, just remove it out onto your car porch or in your toilet, okay, or at your balcony. The whole thing, put it there first, go to work, okay? When you come back, preferably not at night, okay? But if you have to do it at night, you have to do it at night, okay? Right? Preferably not at night. But if once you removed it already, you have to clean it at night or whatever, you still can, okay? But if not, then you put there at least a few days, that doesn't matter, until the weekend when you're free or during your off day, then you slowly dispose it. Just remove it out, okay? For instance, this year itself is a 2 black star, okay? Remove it out from that sector and put it somewhere where the sunlight can actually shine on it. All of you following? Oh, I understand, right? Okay. So now, once you have understand this, you look at some of the photos that's been taken by some of like you who share it on my social media. Okay, right? You can see most of it. You see Malvigadas. Okay, that's beautifully formed. Can you see that? It is all growing, right? All this you can see that the salts are all growing. Okay, these are some of the photos. It's not all that. Okay, Carazon, we realized your photo quite late. Okay, so we didn't manage to put it up. Right? Can you see that all the salt is growing, and every time it grows is good because activation is going on. Now it gets dirty, it's okay. When it gets dirty, it means that either if you have any metal or anything underneath, it means that it is purifying. It means a lot of erosions and purifications, neutralization is going on, right? But just leave it, because if it gets dirty, it means that it's getting its hands dirty, doing all the work, neutralizing and like in a way, doing a lot of purification process. Okay, so here you can see that, okay, probably that sector itself originally also, okay, because you see the coins are all okay. It's just that somehow, okay, the salt itself becomes like yellowish and all that. It means that that area, the chi, okay, might have some heavy energy chi or negative chi or like Sachi lah, let's put it that way, okay? That's why it comes out, okay? The condition of the salt is like that, okay? So just leave it be. All right, so that is how, okay, it appears. Now you see for this one also, okay, you can see it. Now this too, Joanna's one, okay, and also mean cause. Now what do you think will be mean cause a mistake? Can you see that? That is a jar. I mean, you can try doing it, okay? I know, okay, some of you want to try it, okay? But I mean, if you do it and set up in such a way, you know, the jar here, okay, that with blue color, okay, the blue color means that it's still doing, plus the coins itself, like the erosion happen, it will emit, okay, that particular coloring. But you see that, okay, it's hardly growing because the whole setup is not really the best setup. Now you need to use preferably, if can, or smooth rim. The rim needs to be smooth. Now you see this one also the same thing. And if you look at here, you see the water is too much. Remember just now the big vase, I teach you how to set it, okay? Maximum on top itself, right, okay, just 1 inch leave for water. It means that this solution is not strong enough. Not enough of salt, okay? So when you set up the salt, remember, you have to put all the salt up to the brim. Then once you put water, the salt will sink. Once it sinks, you have to add on salt again. Don't continue to put water. Add salt again so that it fills up, okay, to almost the brim of your particular vase, okay, and slowly add water. Because this one is clearly too much water. And you see on the side of the bowl, this is only a bowl. It's small. It's not big enough, okay? So it's like when you use a bowl and a jar, it's not really the best idea, okay, to use, okay? And also like when you set up, you see the salt, that this one, the blue color, the mean cause one, it's only half the salt. That is not enough, okay? So I hope that, okay, now the vase itself, use round one, don't use square. Remember, round represents metal. We want to mitigate 5 yellow and all that, use a round one, don't use square. Square strengthens, okay, the earth. Remember just now the ancient coin, we talked about ancient coin. All ancient coin is round, represents metal, qian, heaven, all right? And at the center, it is a square, represents earth. Okay, so do not use a square vase. All of you following so far? So now you see why some, in a way, like, can grow so beautifully. Oh, this is beautiful. Even this is beautiful. Because it's growing, and whenever it's growing, it's purifying the chi or energy in that particular area, right? Whereas for this itself, okay, I mean, it's still better than nothing, but you know that it's not really doing its work very well. So I hope, okay, Joanna, next year, try again. Try to set up, okay, right? Okay, follow the instructions as close as possible, and you will be able to see the result. All right. So after this, I'm going to share with you the installations date, okay, for 2023. Right. So for 2023, okay, this is the auspicious installation date, okay, on the success day, January 27, okay, Friday. Now, that day clash with Rabbit again. You can still use it, remember. It's a good day suitable for you to install the saltwater cure, use it, but just make sure that you are being careful in a way setting it up. We do not want mishap or accidents to happen. 7:30 in the morning, location, Northwest 3. It's a peak location. The degree is the range of 322.5 to 337.5, Northwest 3. So, if you want to be safe, take the middle degree. Midpoint is 330 degrees. So what you need to do, example, this is your house. Stand at the center of your house, not your room, the center of your house, okay? Right? Imagine here is the center of your house. You stand here, take out your compass to find roughly where is 330 degree northwest. So once you find that direction, it will be somewhere around this area. So find a suitable spot so that hopefully it's not blocking the door. If it's at the door, remember, the range is between this 322.5 up to 337.5. Just as long as within that range, okay, as much as possible so that it's not blocking any doors, okay, or any cabinets or whatsoever. You can put it higher, okay, you can put it lower, but try not to put it inside a cabinet and shut it off. Okay, because some people, it's like, but putting the salt water cure, like in a way, when people see it's not that nice, okay? So I hide it inside the cabinet and shut it, okay? Means you're shutting it, you're not allowing it to help you to purify your energy. So what's the point, right? So might as well you don't do it at all, okay? So preferably, expose it outside on top of your like kitchen cabinet, okay, on top of the table, okay, underneath on the floor, it doesn't matter as long as you can expose it, okay? So at your Northwest 3 location, okay, clay or no, it needs to be glass. Remember, Jin Xia, we have actually in a way, explained this, okay? If you miss it, remember you can play back this, replay it later on to listen exactly how to actually in a way create it. It needs to be glass, okay, and use transparent glass. Why? It is easier for you to see and observe what's going on inside that, okay? So transparent glass is the best, okay, not clay. Can I reuse the Chinese coins? Yes. Chinese coins, if you can wash it, okay, and reuse it, if it's still in good form, use it. But some, right, the whole entire coin will be eroded until it becomes like greenish blue color. Okay, if that's the case, don't use it, okay? Because it probably has, in a way, been activated until it cannot, in a way, activate anymore, okay? So if that's the case, don't use. But as long as it's still, in a way, looking good, you can scrub out the outside, okay? It goes back to the normal shiny coin again, then use back the same coin. Don't waste it. All right, I have cats at home. Is it all right if the fur? No problem, okay? Right, the last time I used it, okay, I remember one of the photo, okay, because the Star reporter asked from me, I gave her the photo, and after that, apparently she, in a way, she published into the Star paper, okay, online and also physical paper, right, okay? Somehow people noticed there are hairs, okay, on the saltwater cure, and she got complained, okay? Yeah, that's how humans are nowadays, okay? People say that, why are you sharing such a gross photo with hair inside it, okay, on the newspaper? I remember that was quite, I mean, it's eye-opening for me, okay? So remember, everything can drop in. Insects, okay? You have like insects and everything will drop inside, okay? So it doesn't matter, leave it, okay? It is supposed to do the dirty job for you. So if it's dirty, it's okay. But remember, whenever it dries up, okay, you have to add in a bit of water. Now, if you cannot use this date, okay, we still have another date for you, all right? So if you cannot use that day, okay, on January 27, now you see, pay attention, that is after Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, okay? So you have to put it after Lunar New Year, before February 4th, before the Solar New Year, before Lap Chun. So another day is a remove day, 1st of February, okay, it's a Wednesday, all right, clash monkey on that day. It means that monkey, if you're doing this, just be extra careful. 7:30 a.m., exactly same degree, right, same midpoint degree, 330 degrees, okay, northwest 3, between these particular degrees. All of you following? Northwest 330 is at my washing area. Is that okay? Anywhere in your house, it is okay. Just make sure, if possible, okay, don't put it into a cabinet to enclose it. All right, leave it in an area where it's open, okay, so that it can interact with the energy or the air outside of it, okay? Right, the coins can be of any dynasty, it doesn't matter one. This is symbolism only, okay? Right, because those coins itself also, don't use the real antique coins, please. If you're antique coins, give it to me. I'll give you some fake ones, okay, and you use it, okay? Don't use the real antique coin, right? The coin doesn't matter, okay? It's just symbolism, all right? What to do with the coins that turn bluish and green? Throw it away, okay? You don't have to bury it in the ground, okay? Just throw it away. It will do, okay? But if you want to, out of like nature, to show your gratitude, to bring it back, okay, to the ground, okay, you can bury it, because at the end of the day, it will go to earth anyway. It's just that either you straight away bury it or you allow it to go through the process and eventually it will go back to earth. Everything goes back to earth. All right? All right, so yeah, so these are the sharings, okay? And of course, those of you, okay, I really hope you can try it out, okay? You can try to actually, in a way, set up a saltwater cure. At least try it. It's not expensive. Try it to see the difference. Okay, Margaret, there's a relevant question there. My house has 3 stories. Which level to put? Now, if you want to set up only one, put at the ground level. Always the ground level. Now, ground level doesn't mean lowest floor, because there are some houses, okay, right? You go in ground level, you have like a basement and you can go up, okay? So always remember ground level as possible, okay? But of course, if your house is big especially, okay, if you can put like, you know, on the 3 entire story. The ground level, make a bigger one, right? The upper 2 stories itself, you can set up a slightly smaller one. It doesn't matter, okay? But the ground level, you need the substantial, I would say, size that correlates to your house, okay? No, not car porch area, inside your house, inside, okay? Means car porch, gardens and all that is not in no way, all right, suitable inside your house, all right? So now, okay, those of you, I know many of you have like in a way bought the ticket, okay, but those of you, if you have not gotten the ticket, I have an upcoming, okay, annual Feng Shui and Astrology talk, okay, on January 8 and January 7. January 7 is in Cantonese and January 8 is in English, okay? It's a full day event from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., okay? It's only 50 ringgit because the prices are highly subsidized by J Group, okay? Building Dreams Together. In fact, if you see, okay, this entire, all the Facebook Live that we do is all sponsored by J Groups, okay? So if you have not gotten the ticket, you can buy either of the sessions or both of the sessions together. There will be a limited time replay, okay, for both of the sessions as well. You can scan on the QR code or you can click, okay, on the comment where, of course, Kong Yu, okay, probably have shared it by now, the link to purchase the ticket. All right, so any more questions there? Thank you so much to all of you, especially those of you who actually helped me to share this session out, okay? So those of you who have just joined, you missed the front part, okay? This will be available for replay. Please, in a way, like look out for the replay, slowly understand it, okay? Because, yeah, I want you to understand it before just erecting or installing it, okay? Vivian Chang, hi, Jessie Lee, okay? Can we get ready the saltwater cure a day before and place on the installation date? You can get ready a bit of it if you want to, right? But don't put the water. You can put the salt into it first. But the thing is, if you put the salt into it, it will be very heavy, okay? Right? To actually drag it over, okay? With the glass, right? So normally, my suggestion is like, no, just get it done on the date and time itself, all right? Because it's not, especially if you're really following instructions, the big ones, right? It's very heavy after you put about like 20 kg of salt inside, all right? So normally we do it there. Or you can put a bit of salt first, okay? The next day carry it there and add on, also can. But remember, getting ready, you cannot put water. Once the water is in, activation is done. All right, so you can just like put a bit of salt, then on the day and time stipulated, you bring it to the place and you continue the rest of the work. So to me, it's like might as well you just do everything on the dates that's given. All right, if Northwest 3 is right at my stove, okay? They see Northwest 3 got that degree span. okay, right? So it cannot, like your stove cannot be so big, right? Okay, so probably like next to it or somewhere near to it or underneath at the side, okay, you can still remember it's not only 330 degrees, it's the whole entire span, okay, of that. Can you see that photo again, the installation date? Remember, is it possible to, yeah, right? Can you see? The whole northwest tree is between 322 degree to 337 degree, okay? That is your northwest tree, right? So you don't have to put it directly on the stove, okay? Yeah.
So does it have to be all the way at the end?
Preferably all the way to the end of the house, but unless if the end of the house here, like example, if here you have an enclosed cabinet, or you have a small little storeroom here, example, you have a storeroom here, but you don't want to put in the storeroom because it's enclosed, right? You can put right in front of the storeroom, means like slightly to the front. Okay, so you can put it slightly to the front. It doesn't need, because sometimes right at the end, it can be like, you know, a storeroom or anything that you know that you need your saltwater cure to be exposed. Once you put it inside here, it's not exposed. It defeats the purpose. So you put it slightly in front. Understand? All right, can you summarize the removal and installation date, okay, on this chat? Now, some seniors here, okay, please do it. But I will say, Christine, okay, if you really want the best out of 2023, you will scroll through the replay later on so that you can summarize yourself. You see, I told you, we are living in an era of convenience. It's not her fault, but we have been primed, okay, to this mentality. Everything needs to be convenient, but you know, in order for us to master our destiny, it requires a lot of work, heaven, earth, and man, okay? It requires a lot of work. I wouldn't say it's hard work. It's not hard, as long as you know the strategies, you know the way. But the thing is, okay, if you want everything to be so convenient, like given to you, and yet you still want to summarize, right, okay, right, the chances is it might not work that well, okay? So try to go through it so that you can listen back to it. Can I mix the type of salt? I mean, you can if you want to, it doesn't matter, okay, as long as it's salt. Like you want some pink color, some white color, it's up to you, it doesn't matter. All right, so what happens if the salt leak, is it? If the water leak. If the water leak, you have to change it, okay? I mean, if it leaks a bit, okay, and it dries up, it won't, like, you know, make the whole entire floor, then it doesn't matter. But if it really leaks a lot, then you have to change, okay? Now remember, halfway through the year, something happened, water leaks or whatever, remove the whole entire thing, don't put anything back, okay? Because that is when the official 5 yellow has come in, remember this, okay? So whenever halfway of the year, okay, you have to move house maybe. You move to a new house, you don't set up one saltwater cure and put it there, okay? That is because when the 5 yellow comes in, you do not want to activate it. All these dates has been selected for you. We'll come in and do this, okay, before the, how to say, the beast, okay, or the aggressive animal is aware that you are trying to shot him with a tranquilizer. Now that he's aware that you are trying to shoot him with a tranquilizer, please don't do it, okay? You get like harmed by it, okay? Don't come after me. All right, so if anything happens in between, you move house or whatever, if the thing breaks, okay, just remove it, okay, and leave it as it is. All right, so I understand all this, okay? Thank you so much, okay, to all of you. So you can bring back to the front page, okay? I really appreciate all your sharings, okay? All right, and those of you who helped me to share this out, okay, I really appreciate it. All right, so here I want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas in advance, okay? Because you know this weekend is Christmas, right? Okay, it's like the time of the year, okay? It's something that all of us, I mean, at least for me, okay, it's something that I'm looking forward to, okay? So Merry Christmas, okay, and Happy New Year in advance, and I wish you all the best, okay, in 2023. And yeah, okay, keep following me on this Facebook, share this out so that it can benefit more people. So remember, Feng Shui doesn't need to be very expensive, okay? Sometimes a lot of Feng Shui cures itself, okay, it can be very affordable and it can be very functionable as well, okay? So all the best, okay? And Robert Bear, okay, the timing, okay, on the dates itself, you can scroll back onto the Facebook Live itself once it's out for replay, and you can find all the information there, okay? Thank you, Leanne. Okay, thank you, Minko, thank you, okay? So here it says that should we add more salt if the salt sinks down? Yes, only during, remember, during installation, when you are installing it. When the salt sinks down, remember, add more salt until it reaches right near to the brim. Not like 1 month after you install it and you see that, hey, how come not enough salt and add? No. Means that once you install on that day, don't do anything to your saltwater cure except only for gradually adding water if you need to. Means that after like a month or two, normally it won't finish up so fast. It dries up, add water gently, okay, and leave it there. All right, so don't add salt, okay? All right, after 1 month out, I think I want to add more salt. Don't do that, okay? Just gently add water will do. All right, so thank you so much, okay? All right, to all of you, I think one more round now, can I? I really like, okay, that Christmas tree. Hey, not this, just the Christmas tree. You idiot, okay? All right, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Good night. Bye. See you all very soon, again.